Welcome to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Tim is a certified financial fiduciary and a no-market risk retirement and income specialist, and the owner of SafeMoneyRetirement.com, primarily serving Western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and Southwest Virginia. But he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Wood is a licensed life insurance professional in multiple states and specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who have already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies. And now, here to talk with you about no market risk retirement planning, your host, Tim Wood.
Welcome to Safe Money Retirement Radio. I'm Tim Wood, an asset and retirement protection specialist. As most of you know, I released my book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, back in 2022. And I'm thrilled to have journalist and podcast pioneer Doug Sandler with Turnkey Podcast Productions with me today to discuss part 2 of chapter 2, The Making of a Certified Financial Fiduciary.
Now, Tim, in chapter 2, you mentioned that you're a member of Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisory Group. Now, a lot of people out there may have never heard of that group. So can you tell us why your company partners with this elite organization and maybe explain the significance of Ed Slott's Elite IRA Advisory Group?
Absolutely. Be happy to. If anyone out there hasn't heard of Ed Slott, the first thing I would advise you to do is, once you're done listening to this, go onto YouTube and search Ed Slott, S-L-O-T-T. He is known as America's IRA expert. The website is actually iraexperts.com. Basically, what he's done, he's put together a group, and believe it or not, there's only about 500 of us around the entire country total. And most of them, believe it or not, are actually CPAs and people that deal in tax law. There are some advisors like me that are in the group. But it's also, just like I mentioned with the Certified Financial Fiduciary, it's actually just as much, if not even a little more, that you've got to prove and do and testing and all kinds of stuff to be a member of Ed Slott's group. The reason it's so important, not only does he have experts, and I have yet to have anyone ask me any tough question about anything, whether it's taxes, whether it's Social Security, whether it's Medicare, whether it's anything that they can't answer. But one of the biggest things is he is plugged into Washington. So anytime there's anything even coming down the pike and it sounds like there's going to be a change here or a change there, I'm actually notified before it even happens. So it's really a big deal. And then when Secure Act 2.0 passed the very end of December, literally that next morning, I had a document in my email that explained the 93 changes in the Secure Act that just passed in December. So that's why it's a big deal. You could have talked to me the next day right after that, and I could literally tell you all of the changes that had just happened the day before. So that's why it's so important to be with someone that's a member of this group, because they're totally up to date on anything changing with Roths or IRAs or 401ks or TSPs or any of that stuff. They keep us advisors and the CPAs and the tax lawyers and all that totally up to date on all of that. So that's why I'm a member of that group and really proud to be.
Always tell everybody, stay in your zone of genius. And as a layman, my zone of genius is not keeping up with the tax codes and the financial, referendums and all the things that are out there. It's always good to have a team member by your side, someone that is a leader and going through this process. And Tim is absolutely that guy in this particular case. Did you have anything to add to that, or can I go on?
No, go on, man.
Awesome. One of the things that I loved about reading this chapter in chapter 2, you explain your fact finder appointment, and it is such a Disney-esque style of approach to how you deal with your new clients. And I was hoping you might be able to just share a little bit about the process and the fact finder appointment.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think process is very important so things don't get left behind. I'm a big process, and I've got checklists for things. So even when I've got assistants helping me out with things, there's checklists. So we make sure everything gets done every single time. That's also a part of being a certified financial fiduciary, by the way. But basically, here's my process. This is the process that I follow with every single client, every single time. Essentially, like I said, the very first thing that we do, and you mentioned it, I call it a fact finder appointment. We're not going to get together and I'm not going to try to talk to you about rates or companies or anything. We're going to talk about you.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about where are you at? What do you have saved? And what are your goals? Or what I like to call it is purpose for your money. So, okay, great. You've got $200,000 saved in a 401k. That's fantastic. What's the purpose of that money? Let's figure out the purpose of that money. Because if that 401k is still in the market, it's still at risk, Doug, and it could go away at any moment if the market goes down. So that's what I'm talking to people about is here's what you've got. Now, what do you really want to do? What's the purpose? Okay, you've got this money here. You've got this money here. Let's figure out what the purpose for each piece of money is. Then I've got a team that will search literally everything that's available in whatever state that they're in for whatever products that we say, okay, whether it's I need to take this money and turn it into a guaranteed income my wife and I can't outlive. Okay, I need to take this money. I want to put it in something that's going to grow like the market, but has no chance of losses and I don't have any fees. Okay, we figure out what all those things are. And of course, there's a bunch of other different options that could be too. Then I have my team do a search. We find whatever the top rated company is that's going to do the best for whatever it is we're looking to do for you. Then we'd get together again in a second meeting and I'd just basically show you what we found. I'd say, here's where you said you were, here's what you said you wanted to do, and here's what we found. And we would just go through it A to Z, make sure you understand everything. If you have any questions, I literally want to overload you with everything that you possibly could need to make sure you're making the best decision. And then the very end of the process is we make it super simple. Essentially, if you decide, okay, here's what I want to do, then it's an online application. It's real simple and easy, takes about 20 minutes. It's done. And then once everything is done, and of course, I'm with you through the entire process to make sure everything goes smoothly. And then at the very end, essentially the ongoing part is we're going to meet once a year. It's what I call an annual review. Essentially just to see, what's going on with your plan. Do we need to make any changes? Is everything, the way it needs to be? Because in some of these plans, you can make changes every single year, and that's called reallocation. And we'll talk about that when we do this about chapter 8. But that's the very end of the process is I'm not going to go away. I'll still be here. You ever have questions, you have family members that need anything, whatever, we'll meet every single year. That's kind of the whole process from beginning to end.
Tim, I want to thank you for not only sharing these first two episodes or the first two chapters of your book, but in sharing them in such an insightful and motivating way to take anybody that is listening to this. If you're not excited about actually talking to Tim or Tim's team, then you better keep listening because we got some great content that's coming up in the next several episodes as well. We're out of time for this episode, but I want to thank Tim for taking time to discuss his book. Thanks, Tim, for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doug.
And stay tuned to Safe Money Retirement Radio for more interviews about other chapters in Tim's book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success. And don't forget to grab your free copy and get it for yourself right now. Just head over to safemoneyretirement.com or call 844-905-SAFE.
Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to Safe Money Retirement Radio. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together, we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulate while reducing exposure to market risk. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Tim Wood, reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
You've been listening to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Find out how to guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe with locked-in returns that will never go down due to market risk, so you can have the future that you deserve. Call Tim Wood now for your free copy of his #1 best-selling book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, along with the free Safe Money Retirement Information Kit at 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. Or visit him online for more details at safemoneyretirement.com. The market goes up and the market goes down. It always has and it always will. But if you are in or near retirement, do you have time to wait for the market to go through these cycles? Think about it. Having your money invested in the market is like walking next to the edge of a cliff. What if you lose your step? What if the edge gives way? What if a strong wind blows you over the side? It's good to stay away from the edge of disaster in life, and when it comes to being exposed to financial risk, it's no different. Shouldn't you at least try to protect the money you depend on for your retirement income? Call now for a complimentary copy of the Safe Money Retirement Book. Our number is 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or in a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. Fees may apply. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the insurance company. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified and licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are just taking the first step towards protecting your retirement. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program are subject to change without notice.